National Evening Weekend. I tell you, I just have to first say, where's John? John, let me just say thank you to you, to Joan, to Doug, to all of our luminaires, to Nelson, Stenny, to all of my colleagues, to the Alabama delegation for once again giving us a wonderful moment of reflection, reconciliation, and recommitment. All of us, in whatever space we occupy, I think, continue to be renewed to go back and fight for liberty and justice for all. And this is a time that we have a moment to stop and really say, yes, this is who we are as a country, as a people, and we're going to do the work to get to where we need to get. So thank you all again very much for giving us another experience to take back and fight the good fight. You know, I think this is probably my 14th, Stenny, your 15th is probably my 14th weekend. And I tell you, this weekend reminds me, and I just have to take a moment to share with you the notion of Sankofa. Sankofa is a mythical bird in the Akan language of Ghana. And it's a bird which is flying forward, looking backward with an egg in her mouth. And the meaning of Sankofa is that in order to move forward into progress, we must look back, we must learn from history, we must learn from what we have learned, and we must use that knowledge in order to move forward and to make the changes that we need to make into progress for humankind. And so this is my Sankofa moment, my brothers and sisters, because this is the time for me to really do that. And for many of you, I'm sure that does that. This weekend does that for you. Terry, thank you so much for your tremendous leadership and for your friendship and for giving us an unbelievable experience. And I keep coming because it's important for me as a daughter of Texas, and you know, I'm not sharing my story tonight, but believe you me, I have to thank you, John, and all of you for getting us this far. Our luminaires for paying the price and really doing the work that had to be done just so I could stand here as a member of Congress. So thank you to all of you. I wanted my district to be able to come, you know, all 750,000 people with me each time. And I wasn't able to do that, so I said, how can I, you know, translate and bring the meaning of this weekend to the 13th Congressional District of California, Oakland, California, Berkeley, California, and Wakanda. If any of you saw Black Panther, Wakanda, that's it. And so I decided, and I formed the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in the mid-90s. And the center was formed to really provide a space for young people during the midst of gun violence and the horrific crimes that were taking place. A space to study nonviolence, conflict resolution, environmental studies, and leadership and civic development. And so I formed the center in the mid-90s, and the young people who come through the center, first of all, are phenomenal, and you've met some of them this weekend. But the center has withstood the test of time thanks to Karen, the director, and thanks to our young people in the board of directors. Well, after the second time I came here, I said, I know instead of being able to bring all 750,000 of my constituents here, maybe I'll get some young people to come because I need to share this experience with them so they can go back and teach my 750,000 constituents about what is taking place here this weekend, but also, more importantly, what took place during the movement and what our foot soldiers and luminaries and leaders did to provide the moment for them to be able to take over and carry that baton for the next generation. And so the young people come with me every year, 5, 6, 7 of them, and then they go back to Oakland, California, and we developed a lecture series. And Terry came out for one of our lecture series, and what we decided to do is to bring these great human beings to my district. John came out. Remember, John? We had 1,000 people. These lectures are free to the community. Terry came out. Peggy came out, and Peggy, my sister, she did a wonderful panel with Peggy Wallace Kennedy, Carrie Kennedy, Lucy Baines Johnson, and Donzale Abernathy. And I'll never forget that C-SPAN covered it, and Peggy, you know, coming from Oakland, Berkeley, right, it's a hardcore progressive blue district. And Peggy was a little reluctant, like, oh my God, Barbara, are you sure? I said, yes, Peggy, come. And the panel was unbelievable. Peggy Wallace Kennedy got a standing ovation. My district understood at that moment what reconciliation was about. Thanks, Peggy. And so these young people did this. They organized these lectures every 3 months. And so we bring the civil rights movement to the 13th Congressional District of California. And so I am so proud of them. They all move forward and they go to college and they do whatever they want to do with their lives. And because of this experience they have here and with the Faith and Politics Institute, not only are they our future leaders, they are leading now in so many ways. So I want to bring my students on up now. We've got a presentation at the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California.
Thank you, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, for that amazing introduction. Let's give her one more round of a hand, you guys. Thank you. Chuck Neblett. Chuck Neblett understands better than anyone the power of song and the inspiration it brings to fuel a movement. As a founding member of the Freedom Singers, he traveled the country spreading the songs of protest, and with them, the stories of the civil rights struggle. He was inducted into the Kentucky Civil Rights Hall of Fame in 2010. Together, we pledge to follow your example and help one another live life with greater purpose.
Betty Mae Fikes. Betty Mae Fikes holds blues audiences in the palm of her hand when she takes to the stage. Right now. She's a singer, but even more, she is a storyteller. As a celebrated icon of the 1960s civil rights movement, she is one of the few living divas who can legitimately lay claim to the title, the Queen of the Blues, and back it up with both a genuine gift for soul music and historical significance. Together, we pledge to follow your example and help one another live life with a greater purpose.
Lafayette. Dr. Bernard Lafayette Jr. is an authority on nonviolent social change. As a co-founder of the Student Nonviolence Coordinating Committee, he was a core leader of the civil rights movement in Nashville, Tennessee, and Selma, Alabama. He directed the Alabama Voter Registration Project in 1962, and he was appointed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to be National Program Administrator for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and National Coordinator of the 1968 Poor People's Campaign. He has taken the lessons of progress in the civil rights movement and shared them across the world as a lecturer and consultant on peace and nonviolence. Nosotros prometemos de seguir tus pasos en ayudar a uno y al otro vivir nuestra vida con propósitos más grandes. Tú escribiste historia y ahora es nuestro trabajo de seguir escribiéndola. Y es por todos tus sacrificios que has hecho y lo apreciamos con todo nuestro corazón.
Carolyn McKinstry. Carolyn Ma McKinstry is a survivor of the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. She marched under Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and bravely faced Bull Connor's German shepherds and stinging fire hoses during the battle for equal rights in her hometown, Birmingham, Alabama. For more than 50 years, Carolyn has continued spreading her message of racial reconciliation, still an active member of 16th Street Baptist Church and as president of the 16th Street Foundation. Together, we pledge to follow your example and help one another live life with a greater purpose.
Cheyenne Webb Christberg. Cheyenne Webb Christberg is known as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s smallest freedom fighter. As an 8-year-old, Webb took part in the first fight, an attempt at the Selma to Montgomery March across the Edmund Prentice Bridge on Bloody Sunday. She has dedicated her life by assisting youth in America to build self-esteem, confidence, overcome adversity, and find real purpose in their lives. Together, we pledge to follow your example, Ms. Webb, and help one another live life with a greater purpose.
Mary Liuzo Lilibo. Mary Liuzo Lilibo has taken the pain of losing her mother to the Ku Klux Klan and channeled it into a lifetime of strength and compassion, becoming a leader in civil and human rights education and awareness. She currently serves as the National Outreach Coordinator of the University of Rhode Island's Center for Nonviolence and Peace Studies. Her work is an important part of continuing struggle for justice and equality in America and the world. Nous disons qu'on va suivre ton exemple et nous allons aider les autres personnes de vivre une vie avec un plus grand objectif.
Doris Crenshaw. Doris Crenshaw is an icon of the civil rights movement and a Rosa Parks protege. Born in Montgomery, Alabama, she became a youth organizer during the Montgomery bus boycott. Her interactions as an organizer left a profound impact on her, leading her to a lifetime of social justice activism. Together, we pledge to follow your example and help one another live life with a greater purpose.
Peggy Wallace Kennedy. Peggy Wallace Kennedy lives a life teaching us about reconciliation. From her unique perspective, living behind the gates of the Alabama governor's mansion as her father, George Wallace, rose to become one of America's most influential populists. Peggy Wallace Kennedy demonstrates the notion that none of us can be held responsible for the circumstances of our birth. She teaches us that we will be held responsible for what we become and helps us know the importance of finding our voice. मैं आपके आंखों में देख देख के कहती हूँ, मैं आपके साथ दुरूंगी, मैं आपके साथ बनूंगी। मैं आपकी ज़िंदगी में देख के कहती हूँ, इतनी शुक्रिया। आपने लोग ने कितना काम किया मेरे लिए, मेरे भाइयों के लिए, मेरे बहनों के लिए, मेरे बहन के लिए। मैं आपको पता नहीं कितना दफ़ा कहती हूँ कि जज़ाकल्लाह खैर।
Ruby Sells. Dr. Ruby Sells is a nationally recognized human rights activist, public academic, and social critic. During her work in the civil rights movement, she suffered many hardships, but she has not been discouraged and has dedicated her adult life to social activism. Together, we pledge to follow your example and help one another live life with a greater purpose.
Congressman John Lewis. Congressman Lewis, you have a very special place in our hearts. It is an incredible honor for each of us to be able to share this journey with you and your colleagues in Congress. We have read your book, Walking with the Wind. You have spoken to our families, our siblings, our friends in Oakland. We study your teachings in our classes. The gratitude that we have for you is immense, and the work and sacrifices that you have done for our country.
Congressman Lewis, as young youth here, we are extremely grateful for your teachings of getting into trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. And frankly, I might have to check in with my mom with all this trouble I'm getting into.
We are so grateful for your ability to work with all groups of people, internationally, intergenerationally, and also interracially, in order to achieve your purpose, and you were able to do so with persistence and never giving up.
Thank you, Congressman Lewis, for encouraging us to get up earlier and stay up later working and strive for excellence in everything that we do.
Congressman Lewis, thank you for teaching us the values and lifestyle of nonviolence in our hearts, in our minds, and in our actions.
Congressman Lewis, you're awesome. We are grateful for you not letting hate consume you and combating it with love. And I feel like that's something our generation struggles with. And I think that was really important for you to make an example out of. Thank you for having the willingness to continue to fight using nonviolence, even in the face of adversity.
Dear Congressman Lewis, I am grateful for you paving the way so us young men and women can succeed and raise the bar in today's society.
Gratitude towards you, Congressman Lewis, for giving us lessons that incorporate advice on how to inspire and motivate our families. Our fathers and mothers can say that this is a waste of time, that it's not worth it. But you have given the ability to us so that they not only stop saying that, but support us in the work that we are continuing to do to create the beloved community.